Chapter 5. After watching 3 of her best warriors head out for what could be a very dangerous mission, Lady began to take stock of the clan's current situation. She hoped that the page they had sent back to the Queen, with word that they would accept their mission, would return before they had moved on. They needed to know that Her Highness knew they had welcomed the task, and also longed for any new information that may have arisen. Now that Fem was away from them, along with 2 of their most experienced members, Lady knew their column would be weakened, which left them more vulnerable to any attacks they might face along the way. Scrubs, always seeming to read Lady's mind, or at least her mood, came up to her and motioned to a nearby table where Moody already sat. "I have news on Blake, and it isn't good," she said quietly. "Whatever it is, we will deal with it," Lady said, and Moody nodded her agreement. "The poison they used on her is something the healers have never encountered, but they do believe that she will recover. The only question is when, and we know it won't be soon enough for her to travel with us. I would like to send word to her family in Yanil and have them come accompany her home and care for her there." Moody, always ready to comfort with her quiet voice and strong presence, began to rise. "I will go see to her and make sure she is ready to travel. She should know our thoughts will be with her." Scrubs held up a hand to stop her, and Moody sank back into her seat, waiting for her to continue. "There is something else." "What is it?" asked Lady. "Fem's unforeseen journey, combined with Blake's injury, has left us with fewer hands, should we encounter a battle before we are ready. It also seems maybe we are going up against a force greater than we thought. Our number needs to be increased, and I want to journey ahead seeking lady warriors to add to the clan." Lady tensed and felt a wave of fright ripple through her. "But with your leaving us as well, our size decreases even more." Moody spoke quietly. "I believe Scrubs may be right in her need of this. In my talk with Jerietta, she also spoke of us finding allies to help in this fight. She sees us seeking out new sisters to join the clan and prepare for the battle, but also of an unknown alliance that would benefit us, and I, for one, believe that we can manage the journey with the sisters we have. Until Scrubs and Fem can join us once more. We have traveled with fewer sisters than this before and faced deadly foes." Lady looked back and forth between both of them, seeking answers in their eyes to questions she knew she must not ask. "If you both believe it to be best, then we will make it so." Moody stood once more and left them sitting alone at the table. They were quiet for a few moments before Lady looked deep into Scrub's eyes and asked, "Are you sure?" "Of this, I am positive." "But," Lady started, "trust me on this, as you do so many things. I will journey to the Warriors Guild and meet with the clan at Terrally. You will promise me to be safe." Scrubs smiled at her. "I will be fine. Who will you take to accompany you?" "I believe Tay-Sam would be the best choice for this journey. Her skills are excellent, as are her ways of persuasion, and that may just be what we need for this task. Asking for help on a mission such as this will be no small feat," Scrub said thoughtfully, "and you will need the others for protection. I will be fine." Well, this is just one more item on my list of things I must accept, is it not? Asked Lady. Scrubs did not answer her, knowing no reply was needed. Lady looked at her even harder, thinking about the past they shared. This was a woman she loved greater and deeper than anyone ever before her. Scrubs was not only a leader, a sister, and a friend, but so much more. To look at her, you would see her short blonde hair was full, lush, and complemented the contours of her face. Her eyebrows were naturally arched as a dragon's wings in flight, and her eyes, that were never afraid, flashed a brilliant shade, especially when she was angry or amused. When Lady looked in those eyes, she saw intelligence and integrity. Although she was not as tall as most men, Scrub's strength was noticeable, even under the heavy armor she wore proudly. Her hands were graceful when wielding even the heaviest and deadliest of weapons. And she had trained as a healer before accepting the responsibility of a leader of the lords. She was also a warrior of the highest caliber, and while her hand-to-hand combat was still being refined, she shined in other areas. Lady felt she had always known her, even from the moment they had met, and that she had always been a part of her. When Scrubs had joined the ladies of the Red Dragon, most had not known how to take her offhanded humor and oftentimes stern manner. But Lady had found herself drawn to her immediately, with an interest that sometimes distracted her from her duties. Those first few weeks, as Scrubs became a full member in the clan, things had been tumultuous and rife with disturbances. It was a time in the clan that most chose to forget, now that those days had passed, but as the dust had settled, Lady and Scrubs had found themselves becoming fast friends. Over time, they had both begun to wonder if there was more, but each was unwilling to lose the closeness they had found by bringing up something that could just be a wayward thought in their own minds. A day came when neither could resist the urge any longer, and the feelings rose to the surface, bringing with them a tender but passionate relationship that neither of them could have envisioned, nor, if told, would never believed possible. After much time had passed, and with the blessing of the clan, they spoke vows to one another that showed the evidence of their bond and devotion to each other. This pledge, and the connection they shared, made the journey she was about to take even more difficult for Lady to bear. To watch the one who held her heart leave the safety of the clan was a hard vision to imagine. When Scrubs had been named a leader of the lords, they had both acknowledged and accepted that this was a day they may face. But neither had expected it to come so soon, and Lady had never imagined it would be as hard or would wrench her heart the way it was now as she accepted the decision. Scrubs nodded and stood, and reaching down for Lady's hand, Lady stood up with her. "Remember who you are and what you must do," Scrubs said. "This clan looks to you for leadership, and you cannot lead them with that look on your face or those tears that are threatening your eyes. There are more important matters here than either your feelings or mine, and we must accept that and carry on." Lady stood a bit taller and composed herself even as Scrubs continued to watch her. "Then I will look forward to seeing you in Varrock with the new recruits you bring to me, and to this war we must fight." She smiled at the woman she loved dearly. "And make sure they are warriors and not just beauties, please." Scrubs laughed and squeezed Lady's hand once more before releasing it. She walked over to where Tay-Sam had been sitting, and they talked for a moment before heading towards the door. Lady watched with a lump in her throat, as it felt like her heart walked out the door with them. She felt a hand on her arm, and turned to see Jerrietta standing next to her, also watching the women leave. As before, the sisters called out for them to be safe and successful on their journey, and with only a quick glance back, Scrubs and Tay-Sam stepped into the sunlight and were gone. "Do not fear, my lady. She will come back to you and bring new sisters with her," said Jerrietta. Lady did not speak immediately, but sat back down heavily in the chair, feeling every one of her 40 years. Jerrietta quickly sat in the seat across from her, pulled a stale mug of beer close, and took a sip. She looked at Lady over the rim of the glass. 3, to be exact. Sisters, I mean. But she will bring much more than that, Jerrietta said. And just what does that cryptic comment mean? Lady sighed, not knowing if she had the strength to weather this type of conversation at the moment. Jerrietta giggled in a way that only an old woman can, and smiled an even bigger grin, and did not explain. I must prepare these women to travel soon. If you have nothing else to tell me, I suggest you begin to say goodbye to your daughters, Lady said, now becoming anxious. You want to know if you will win this war, do you not? Jerrietta asked, still sipping on the beer. No, I know we will win, said Lady, showing a false confidence she currently did not feel. Well, the war you may win, but a battle will be lost, and along your journey, a sister will be lost as well. Jerrietta looked at her as she said this, wanting Lady to know how serious her message was. Lady instantly sat up and leaned closer to the table. Who will we lose? The one who will give you the weapon to win this war. Lady almost pounded the table. That is not an answer. Tell me, she said vehemently, her voice now rising. The answer will come to you when the time comes as well, and your strength will be needed for yourself and for your clan. You will need to carry them forward, even when the grief threatens to hold them back. But this, Lady, you must remember. At this she lowered her voice to almost a whisper. She must be buried at the Druid Circle in Taverley, must, I tell you, or your whole war will be lost, and many others you hold dear as well. Now Jerrietta rose from the table, making to leave. Lady stood up impatiently, but composing herself. Your information only proves to confuse me more and is not helpful, Jerrietta. You will see it clearly when the time comes, Lady. Are you always this evasive? Jerrietta now stepped back towards Lady, and with a stronger voice than she had displayed before, she spoke. You are the Lady of the Ladies of the Red Dragon. This force of women and the great things they do have come from a flicker of thought that once sparked in your mind. That little spark caught the wind of change and a blaze began. Look around you, Lady. These women have all joined with you of their own volition, and they do not waver from your cause. They help not only each other, but also many others as well, and that is your doing. But it is also a great responsibility that you must bear. And while you share it with other women, leaders, and members alike, you feel the brunt of the pain when something goes amiss. Your ladies can see that you have support from all sides, but they also see your pain when the fire starts to die. From those embers, you have fanned the flames back to life more than once with your sisters, and friends at your side encouraging you. But the time will come soon for you to do so again, Lady, and you must be ready. Draw on your strength and theirs as well, finding the energy to keep the fire burning bright. Lady stood with her mouth open and stared as Jerrietta left her and moved to the other side of the room where her daughters, Ishii and Charmed, were filling their packs. Amazed, Lady watched her, with her mind racing. She could only continue to wonder what the seer had meant by many of her words. Others she understood as maybe no one else could. But what did it all mean to the clan, and what were they about to face? Yes, the lifeblood of the entire clan was a fire and a force. It burned quietly at times and roared as an inferno at others, but it lived in the hearts of each one of these ladies. Now, as Lady looked around at all the women she held so dear to her, she thought of them not as a clan, but as individuals, and she took a moment to reflect on some. She saw Tequila Jade, an amazingly strong woman who had overcome so many obstacles in her life, but yet fought with the strength of 10 men, and at times of leisure could make all of the sisters laugh. There, in the corner, stood Breezeby, who had a heart of gold and hands willing to help anyone who was in need with patience and understanding. Bree's arms were always open with a hug for any sister. Next to Bree was Winddance, the soul of the clan, who knew the right words for every occasion and often helped Lady to find her own words when she was troubled. Windy often taught Lady patience and encouraged her to listen with her heart when her head was overcome with issues and information. Night Sage, the one you always knew would be standing by you in any battle or on any front. Her voice carried through the room, and her laughter caused many to look and smile at the joy she could find in almost any situation. There stood Cookie, with her ideas that kept the clan hopping and on its toes. Her brain never seemed to rest, and she was forever thinking forward and with fresh hope. Dark Passion, the beautiful and quiet one, with the soul of an angel and the heart of a warrior, she saved her voice for that which was necessary, which led others to listen intently whenever she spoke. Jenny Boo at the table across from Lady, restringing her bow, quiet, yet Lady knew she was always thinking and planning, and forever at the ready when the call to battle arose. Each with so many more facets and attributes, each a welcome addition to the clan, and yet all had issues of their own they faced daily. All of these amazing women and many others in this room just waiting for her to give the word. And now, thinking of these sisters and digesting Jerrietta's words, this gave Lady the strength she needed to straighten herself and call out to them. Lords, the time to move has come. Make your preparations and let us leave within the half hour. Their agreement echoed throughout the room as ladies stood and started gathering their belongings. Lady's confidence grew as she remembered and murmured to herself, "We are the ladies of the Red Dragon, and we shall not be defeated." In less than 15 minutes, the ladies were all at the ready and milling about close to the door. One of the sisters had settled the bill with Salmon, who had given them a generous discount for all they had consumed. Now the preparations were made, and he would be waiting for Blake's family to arrive and see to her safe journey home. Lady and Moody had stopped in to see Blake, assure that she was comfortable, and assure her that they would see her upon their return. With a wave to Salmon and a smile at Jerrietta, Lady stepped out the door into the street and the sunshine and waited for Moody and the other ladies to fall into line behind her. She looked over her shoulder as she felt a touch on her back to see Moody grinning at her. The parade of lords was on the move once again.